Portal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Masters BAP player. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do drop a like, consider subscribing. If you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff.
Imagine the worst possible
Okay, good.
avoid
So, should set here. And let's get some Masters BAP on Junkertown.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Fine, you take a quick look over there. Let's take a look at that, that looks right. Quick look over there, sure. Reload at 5, that's a reasonable amount of free healing shots. Okay. Time to reload again. It's a lot of time not firing that you're not reloading at. Like, we're now in a situation where there's no one on here on your screen for you to shoot at. There's no one on your screen to shoot damage or heals at. You're at 5. It's probably time to hit a reload here. And this is a fair amount of time no one has been on your screen for you not to hit a pre-fight reload. If this was like the middle of the fight, an actual brawl happening, keep spending your shots. If there's things to do, keep spending them. If there's damage to be done, absolutely keep damaging. But right now, we don't want to mid-fight run out of shots. 5 shots into the fight. So let's hit our reload here. I wouldn't ask you to do this at 9 shots, but I would have there. That's just a little lazy with your weaving. Like, you look at this, you start doing for some offensive shots, fine. You say, hey, they need a heal. I'm not quite sure why you think they needed a heal. I think that was for your Reinhardt, who hadn't taken any damage. His shield was up the whole time. Now, if you knew your D.Va was missing health, that's fine, but you certainly didn't aim that at your D.Va. And then you just doubled up on shots there rather than shooting at the Sigma, rather than shooting at the Soldier. Not a great reason to do that. And generally, I feel like I don't know how to position versus double sniper or long sight lane maps in general. Okay, Elark. Hey, Mentos Frost. So, when it comes to that, double sniper or super strong poke on the other team is going to be a bit challenging. If you have your own shield that you can be working behind in the sense of like an Orisa or a Sigma, oh, that makes sense. We understand how to use that. But generally what's going to happen is you're going to need to open your sight line to fight them, to get your weapon play done, both your damage and your healing, but especially your damage, while they are distracted. That means while your tanks are pushing them. That might be there's a Winston jumping on a sniper. That might be your Reinhardt is pushing into their front line. But that, against teams that have significantly stronger poke than you, rather than doing standard BAP things of, aha, I'm up here and I'm just poking at you, you do get a little more into, okay, I'll play from the side, sort of how an Ana would, and I'll open my angle as my tanks aggressively challenge yours. That might be a fresh barrier goes down for Orisa. That might be a Winston jumps in. That might be a Reinhardt pushes into their D.Va, pushes into their Orisa, that sort of thing. But it's going to be very hard for a Widow, a Hanzo, a Soldier to just be trained on you as your tanks have pushed out. Now, you still have to get offensive value with your weapon. You absolutely do. But you do it when your tanks are sort of engaging like that. And, you know, it's less valuable than normal. It's one of the situations where, hey, I don't like this. I'd like to be able to have more uptime because BAP just loves uptime. His power is a lot more consistent, whereas Ana's is spiky when it comes to offensive power, and he likes that consistent time. But when he's having to play into really strong poke, that especially poke that can one-shot him, that does become a thing. And how do you deal with poke that can one-shot you? Well, you go in when it should be distracted. And if that doesn't make any sense, absolutely let me know, Elark. But this here is fine. These guys are not, you know, some terrifying amount of, oh no, I can't poke at them. No, we don't need this. So here you are. We do this. You have plenty of shots left. There's plenty of things to shoot at. Plenty of things to shoot at. Nothing's threatening you. Still no real threat to you. I don't know why we're shifting. This shift is wrong. I see that D.Va's missing health. That's fine. Send her a right click. Okay, your shift is rolling, and now you know where the Widow is, so you're going to change this, not by jumping. Good. Okay, I can work with that. Sure, that's okay. Shifts are absolutely terrible. Okay. So you kind of walked yourself into this. You know where their Widow is, and you're looking at this, and now you do need to be thinking about how can I safely contribute. And from here, you can pretty safely contribute. You can go, hey, I'll shoot poor angled shots at this and heals at this, or I'll hop up here and I'll go, hey, I'm going to go like this, and I'll just fight like this, where I can, from an angle, help my Reinhardt, shoot at them, that sort of thing. But I'm not going to go here because I see my Reinhardt shield is weak, and I don't think my Reinhardt is going to push up and contest this Widow, and I don't trust this Reinhardt shield, especially this weak one, to stay alive. If I saw my D.Va booster, I'd be like, yippee, and I'd hip up here, and I would go and shoot at things. Absolutely. If I saw my D.Va booster in towards something like that, either towards the Widow or even towards these guys, I'd probably be safe doing that because Widow's unlikely to just hold this sight line when a D.Va comes in. But that's not what's happening right now, so there's not really a good reason for you to be here. This is not a good place for you to stand.
Get in here.
Sure, but that's a lot of heals in a row. It's a lot of heals in a row. Shift is fine. Do you know where their Widow is? That I don't like having hopped up here. There just wasn't a good reason to hop up here. You're just like hoping the opponents can't hit you with hog hooks, with Widow shots. There's very little reason to have gone vertical here and opened up this sight line. Your tank line is sitting on cart. They're not actively pushing opponents, creating a distraction. They are standing on point. And your next biggest threat besides your tank line would be your Hanzo, your mercy boosted Hanzo, and your mercy boosted Hanzo is standing right in front of you, which we don't actually like right now because it means sight lines, crosshairs from opponents that see our Hanzo are also going to see us. That see our Hanzo are also going to see us. That see our Hanzo are also going to see us. So this is a bad time to peek right now. The only time you peek when someone's pulling a sight line right in front of you is when you have an Orisa shield, a Sigma shield, that sort of thing. No, we don't just dance and hope she misses. This is too high level game to just be like, I'm just going to dance and wiggle and hope that they don't hit me. No, we don't do that. Like sometimes you get stuck doing that, but you don't put yourself in positions to have to do that.
Let them up.
What are we doing about this? Do we think she's tied up enough? Did you see her get tied up enough? Let's see here. You see your Ashe. Maybe you recognize your Ashe is challenging, so you go for this
Let them
window.
up.
Okay. And now Widow's down. Good.
Sorry about that.
You had no reason to lose your D.Va here. Happening. We heard the hook. We didn't turn to look for it. We've gone full offense mode. Oh, look, our D.Va's pretty low over there. We're just not interested in the slightest. We heard the hook noise. We got the cue on our screen that the D.Va was low health. Couldn't be bothered. This Sigma is not... I know you do a lot of damage through your window. You also do a lot of healing through your window. This Sigma is not like one shot away, maybe 2 shots away from being eliminated. You're going to have to hit 2 or 3 shots to eliminate this Sigma. Don't force this. Save your D.Va.
Sorry about that. You all look like you needed some healing. Fully healed.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Your shift's bad habits you've gone into? Okay. Well, you can fix it. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it does make you vulnerable.
Bye-bye.
Not just to divers, but to poke as well. To non-one-shot poke, anyway. Okay. Your hero's the forward team. What was your last elimination? Yeah, you got late, but not super late eliminations. You can push up and look for this. Like, you can go, hey, I'm going to pop over here and look to see if there's something here. I'm going to go down here and see if there's something here. And then after you do your poke, or if scary things show up, back off. You're sort of doing like a half forward push. Like, at this point, you guys might as well just be tripling cart if you're not actually willing to push up far enough to either get a forward chokehold or even a forward firing platform to use on the opponents. Like, no? Now you're late going for a forward firing station? Sure, he can't hurt you from there. Yeah, I was happy to just keep pummeling him. Why is Sigma allowed to do this? Sigma should either have 100, 150 less health, or should have, like, 200 to 300 less barrier health right now. I don't know why you're just chilling, wasting time, going and doing this other stuff when Sigma could not hit you at that range.
Regen burst activated.
That shift wasn't for you, didn't make sense. Sure. She's fine. You can keep helping her, but she's fine. Okay. Start looking for weave opportunities. Your Reinhardt's healthy enough. That's a fine shift. Sure. Did you need that? No, I don't know why you went for the reload there. You still had 2 shots. I'd have rather actually gotten value out of those 2 shots.
Step inside, stay alive.
Okay.
My ultimate is charging.
That was YouTube being funny about telling me what the stream stats are. That's weird. Okay.
Don't cry.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, it's just gonna be weird. That's okay.
All better. Now, my ultimate's almost ready.
Okay, so you can push cart here. I'd probably actually sit behind the cart and push from behind the cart, not standing on it. Again, I'm worried about the poke that this team has. This team has themselves a Zen, a Soldier, a Widow. The poke on this team is pretty reasonable. I want to have a little bit more cover, not just be standing on top of the cart where you can't quickly move to protect yourself. Sure, fine with me.
Regen up.
That shift is just you seeing people low health. Your shift like doesn't even reach them, by the way. Might have reached your Reinhardt who didn't need it, but...
Yes.
And now you don't have your shift, so you're going to feel this need to play super passive in here. Now, you probably should have been playing in here the whole time, but now you're going to have to play in here, and you're going to be a lot more hesitant to take peeks to shoot at their tanks up there, which is something we'd like you to be comfortable doing. And it's because you're not recognizing when you want to be aggressive when your team is pushing, when your tanks are actually doing stuff, as opposed, and when they're not against a heavy poke team like this, or a team that you're worried has more poke than you, which I'm really not anymore. You guys actually have better poke than they do. Yes, Widow's scary, but you guys have these, this. Your guys' poke is actually more solid than their poke at this point, but we'll deal. That said, you still don't just stand there and get widowed.
Got you good as new.
Okay. So this is fine. I'm actually not worried about this because this is the type of moment that, yes, you would peak during this because a self-destruct is going in, and this is something that you should feel. Not only can you peak during, you sort of have to peak and go try to get value during. Now, the Widow, of course, is used to the self-destruct timing and goes, I think I'm safe. I think I'm going on. And it's obviously not a great self-destruct timing in terms of your D.Va is just yeeting the self-destruct in here. But generally, your self-destruct going in there is going to be enough of a distraction that, yes, you want to peek and poke at this team. Your D.Va did it wrong. I don't necessarily mind you queuing off your D.Va doing this wrong and getting punished for it. Yes, if you were better, you'd recognize, okay, this gets me cover. This probably gets me enough cover. Ends up not quite being enough. I don't particularly mind that. You'll also notice this Widow's taking a serious risk by looking at you rather than the Hanzo here. Well, her team is certainly not going to be challenging the Hanzo. Unfortunate. Okay. Still don't need that shift, but okay. Okay. Sure. You see that Widow there, you see the streamline. We're probably going to change this angle. Like, you shouldn't be taking this long to get the heal on D.Va, but we are going to change this angle. Okay. No, don't walk through your Rein shield. In fact, I don't really want to stay here until your Widow, your D.Va can go back in, or your Rein pushes forward. It's annoying quite how passive your Reinhardt is being, I agree. But you can't be opening angles like this when your tanks aren't pushing. Unless you want to invert the, desperately increase the amount of poke that you guys have with your window, which, by the way, would be a pretty good idea. We've had this window for a minute.
Burst activated.
Okay.
This is not the time.
Get out of
Okay.
there. Fall back.
Set up a halfway decent fight. Window win.
No.
Okay. Fine.
Fully healed. En route.
This happens. Sure. I don't want to push at the diva as much as I want to shoot at the widow. Like, I know where she's been this whole time, but okay. She's not moving and being super unpredictable.
You tried your best.
Sure. I'm not that worried about these mines. I don't mind taking them, but you know the widow's gone. You can hop yourself up here type thing. Obviously, the McCree's a threat, a problem, but, like, I don't know that I want to spend this much time clearing mines.
Regen up.
That shift. Okay, let's heal up Diva. Let's back up Diva.
No stopping me once I get into
Why are we reloading? Like, we should have just topped up and helped Diva. Literally backed her up. There's no reason to have been like, I'm going to peek up here and then immediately drop again. No. No. We can have actually backed up Diva. More heal shots for her. More damage shots for our opponent. No reason to reload here. Okay. Why are we reloading again? There's plenty to do right now. This is not, oh, it's pre-healing, oh, like, you know, everyone is within 20, 30, 50 health of being full if they're a tank. There is real healing to do in front of you right now. If this fight starts, you were in a situation where you would much rather have healed your Diva another 150 HP and have 6 shots than be at 10 shots but have your Diva be just this weak or have just received mercy healing while you were reloading. So, like, this is not a good pre-healing reload. This isn't pre-healing. This is real healing that you're having to do right here, even though it's between fights. Shoot the smallest red thing. There you go. There you go. What? No. We have a reload problem. We have a reload problem.
Someone has to keep you alive.
And then the shift. Are we windowing this? Is that why we're here? Now are we going to window? Like, window charges pretty darn fast. It's going to charge a little slower in this game where you're in this, hey, I'm a little afraid to poke at them too hard thing. But window charges pretty fast. You could easily, like, you could have had it for any of the first fights on this point. And by first fight, I mean the fights around this area, not just the first fight, and also still have it for any of the second half fights here, or have it for a second half fight here. Whereas now, it looks like you're just trying to hold it for last fight, trying to finish the map with it type thing.
Light them up.
I don't want to stack this much ult power. Like, again, this is fine, but I probably wanted to use this one differently, I'll just say. Like, I wanted to use this earlier, I wanted to use this after the self-destruct, I didn't need to stack this with the self-destruct. It's not really threatening hugely different places. It's threatening enough different places for you to actually go after the supports there, but we didn't.
Light them up.
And you're just not hearing that there's, you know, McCree walking his way up over here. Unfortunate. Got you both. That hurts. That's just tracking how many people are, how recently you've seen them, that sort of thing.
Group up with me.
If I have ult, I try to let my other support heal when it's not important, but I should have known she had it since it's been agents since we've ulted. Well, there's that. But there's also how much time do you actually have between fights? And you didn't have enough time between fights there. You didn't, like, cleanly win the last fight and now you're healing up. This was always a case of you were costing your Diva time, your team ability, yourself time to poke, to threaten the other team that you had a numbers advantage on, that you could have taken space against. You were costing yourself the ability to do that. Like, yes, it's good to feed our ally support charge if we just won the fight and all of them are in spawn, or if they've gotten away and we can't stagger them anymore. Like, those are good things to do, but that fight, they'd sort of retreated from, pulled back from, and had sort of a, they fall into a defensive concave thing with less than their full team. And that's fine. That's the right thing for them to do. But while that's happening, you would like to continue to poke battle that, challenge that, rotate to break that sort of thing. And you're going to be delayed in doing that if you don't heal your team up. And remember, ult charge is not the most important thing in the game. We would generally consider positional advantage and numbers advantage both is more important than ult advantage most of the time. And you're like, yes, I'm going to spend time that we could be pressing our numbers advantage or gaining a positional advantage, not healing so that my other buddy can heal. Like, no. If you look at the Zen Ball comp, for example, right now, you will see that you're going to have a lot of situations where it might be nice to let your Zen or your Brig heal someone up after one fight, but the people go get health packs instead because they can't wait for the Zen and Brig comp to rotate around to heal everyone else. The space is too important. And obviously you guys have more of healing available to you than a Zen Ball comp does, a Zen Brig combo, but the same thing still applied here.
Fall back. Get out of there.
Okay. Sure. Also, if you're finding, I better, stop healing so that my other support can do healing, like, well, you could also window. Okay. Okay. Sure, Challenger. You have shield advantage, why not? A little scary here, pull yourself back. Yep. It's okay. You just shift. Oh, you don't have your shift. Why don't you have your shift? What did you use it for?
My turn. Regen burst activated.
Nothing. You used your shift for nothing. And now because you used your shift for nothing, this, which should have just been like, yep, no big concern, becomes a little bit scary, doesn't it? You have to lamp. Yeah, you didn't lamp because you were trying to wait on your shift, but your shift, once you've gone down that low, wasn't going to be enough to save you anyways. You need to shift pretty early because the shift does a fair amount of healing, 150 health, that's most of your health pool, but it doesn't like all deliver it the way an Ananade does where you instantly get it back. You do have to shift pretty early as you're taking damage from a Tracer, from a ball, that sort of thing, or after you've taken some poke damage from like a Hanzo arrow to the chest or something like that, and then go, okay, let this tick back up a little bit, or this ticking up is enough that the Tracer can't finish you within this clip. They have to go for the next one, which gives you another burst or two of shots on them. I hope that Diva appreciated the 75 HP. Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
I shall seize the payload safely to its destination.
Someone's looking out for me. Fall back. Let me show you how it's done. Regen up.
Sure. I don't know that you opened this far. Like, you do this, you drive off the Tracer, great. Why are you back in here rather than here? Here is good. Here you have the option to close your angle whenever you want. Why are you backing up into here? And now here is even worse.
The payload stopped. Not exactly what we were going for.
Fortunately, they're in pre-tracer now, so the focus is now scary. Okay. Go take high ground. Go take high ground. You're literally just going to window from high ground anyway. Too late. Window? Window? Good. Nope. If you were alone, this would be correct, but Mercy's actually glued to you, and the only thing that hit you is a roll through. And I think you just don't realize that, and you're like, oh, I should shift. And it's like, well, no, actually, you shouldn't shift. Right idea. I don't really want to stay this close to this fight at all. Like, there wasn't really a reason to stay this close to this fight. As you started to win this fight, you actually wanted to pop yourself back up here just so that you can see more of the battlefield. Bap is so much more comfortable behind the fight, above the fight, especially now that there's not a Widow on the board, than he is in the middle of the fight. I get it. You did this rotation through here. You wanted the window where your team might have a chance of using it too. I can live with that. I would have been okay rotating up here when you had the chance and windowing to just blast those guys off, whatever. But then you go over here, or, you know, you pop yourself as you go across up here, pop yourself right back up here as soon as you get the chance and do your work. It is just better. You can see more of what's going on. You can weave more efficiently and be better at this game if you can see more. You can't make better decisions if you don't have the information to make better decisions, and you just can't see enough when you're in the middle of it with BAP.
Suiting up.
Okay, let's jump a little further here.
Initiating match. Ready
Don't
for
cry.
battle.
Where did a medic like you learn to handle a weapon like that?
The number of battlefields I've seen, I was bound to pick something up. Don't die on, don't cry. Fully healed.
5, 4,
Okay,
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
sure.
Stop the payload.
Showtime.
You'll do that until you get punished for it once by a Widow, and then you'll rethink it, but that's okay. Good. We like this. It's more healing than we needed. That could have been weaving, but okay.
Chest breath.
Shift is fine with me. Great. Great. Why are you walking across on the bridge? You should have just stayed behind this to heal him. Yeah, there you go. Check on your team, fine. It's not the end of the world. You go like this. Yes, you can be aware that, hey, wait, there's a Hanzo there. You can see that Hanzo there. This isn't the best place in the world for you. You were a little happier. Again, more like this means you don't get any offensive shots, which we don't love, but they do have real poke threat on this team. We do look at this and it's like, wait, there's that Zen, Orisa, Sigma, Soldier, Hanzo, so we want to do this when our team is aggressing. And it's a little annoying that our team is running a Reinhardt, so our aggression is either when they push close enough that our Reinhardt can fight them, or when our D.Va goes in, but it kind of is. So we have to be careful about our lane openings, and when we do open our lane or open a cover to shoot at the opponents or for the opponents to be able to shoot at us and vice versa, we'd like to do that either when our D.Va goes in, when our Reinhardt goes in, when they go into our Reinhardt, or after someone has done something loud over here, like Hanzo's being loud over here, McCree's being loud over here type thing, where we're not. So yeah, you would have pretty happily hung out over here and continued to do work until you had something a little louder as a distraction. But that's okay.
Let's get you back in the fight.
Drop.
Yourself up.
Check left. Good. Now we're just going to open a window. Oh, this is a long opening to walk across without looking.
Get out of there.
Are you getting cute with a window, or are you just going to window down main? You guys can break this corner. You absolutely have the window to do so.
Let them out.
Okay. You can weave it. Like, there's absolutely room. I know it's a little scary, but there's absolutely room to go right click, left click, right click, left click. Yes, even when it's a 45 degree, almost 90, not really 90. Even when it's a 45 degree turn like this, there's time to do it. Even if you miss your left clicks, I'll forgive you. Just try.
Heroes never die.
The
Let me show. Fall back.
Okay.
Streets engaged.
We're rotating out.
On my way.
Sure. There's a fight happening, so in theory you can peek right now. The problem is where the fight is happening. Good. No lamp available. It's fine. You guys have already lost this fight. Yeah, I don't consider this top tier weaving.
Unkeeping attitude positive, là.
We see what's happening there. Obviously this is Masters, so I don't expect GM level weaving, but there's definitely room to improve our weaving.
Regen up.
Yeah, okay.
Has reached the checkpoint.
Is reloading here helping? You're at 42 out of 45 and 10 out of 10. Oh, I better reload. Why? Like, why? What could possess you to do this? Sure. Okay. Why am I reloading? You've started your reload, like, this is not at all enough of a combat break to have started your reload with 8 shots left in your clip. And turns out, as you're turning to check, wait, is there anything behind me, you're locked in your reload when it sure would be nice to be able to use these offensive shots. You easily could have had another burst into Zen there if you hadn't been reloading. Your weaving is way better in Brawl comps. I feel like I put myself in bad positions here. Yeah, your positioning, that's the thing. Like, if you get your positioning right, weaving gets easier. If you try to weave, you'll find you have to position in ways that, oh wait, it works. It is harder to weave against poke comps than it is in Brawl v Brawl. Okay, we're going to push up and just use this window. I don't care. We're going to push up and use this window. I don't even need my tank. We have Valk going. I don't want to kite with a Valk. Okay. Okay, you see that? That shift was unnecessary. You gonna shoot at that soldier over there? No? Ever? Are we ever gonna shoot at the soldier here? Okay.
Come on.
You can't really flank to go shoot at this soldier. I don't really want a soldier duel. What I want is like, hey, I'm healing my team, I peek, I take a few shots at the soldier, 1 to 2 bursts, and then I close the angle and I go back to healing my team. And now he's like, wait, I'm missing health, I guess I'll drop heal station. And then now he doesn't have heal station, and later when your Winston jumps him, your Winston wins, type thing. Or, okay, heal station should be gone by now, let me peek and do 2 more bursts. Okay, now he's at lower health and he has to decide, am I going to play passive? Am I going to run and get a health pack? What am I going to do?
I am injured.
Got shift. Winston was up there, so I thought he was going on him, but that doesn't mean you can't add a little help. That duel for your Winston becomes way easier if you've hit, say, a headshot on that soldier for him. Okay, now we're not going to hold this window for 1,000 years. We're going to use it when they advance, right? Not that shift. Wait for it. Tuck left. Why are you in the open? It's fine. It's still 5v5. Window. What are you running for? Just window. Yeah, they got your Winston. So what? You got their Zen. They've committed themselves into the open. Yeah, they're using Sigma's shift. Great. I can weave past Sigma's shift. I can weave past Sigma's shift and put a ton of damage into blue there. Like, I'm so windowing this.
Fall back.
Hey, Nuntype. How you doing?
I'm fully healed. Regen up.
Okay. Sure.
Get in here. Help.
So we went from a 5v5 that we could have windowed and, you know, either won or forced them to pour more ults into, to, oh shoot, now we've backpedaled our whole way out and we've lost most of our team. Eh. You're terrified of poke comps. Your poke is better when you have a window, and they get terrified of you when you have a window. Yeah.
Is approaching its destination.
But there's a Hanzo, and Hanzo is scary. You know where else there's a Hanzo? On your team. There's also a McCree on your team, and a Mercy on your team. Don't go underselling your poke. Holding our window for next round. So this is the second time that we've had a window for a really long time, and it is a fast charging ult.
Switching sides.
And it is a fast charging ult that they will run from. They will go, oh, we don't want this poke fight. And the reality is, once you start getting at all good with it, you just drop your window and you two-shot people. Like, oh, you guys had a Reinhardt that was sort of rotating? He's gone. Oh, you have a Zarya that's at 3/4 health? Yeah, she's gone. That sort of thing. That's how it works. You blow people up.
Five, four,
Saving window for Overwatch 2. It's true.
1. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
Escort the payload.
Okay. Don't reload. Now you can reload. Now you can shoot. Good. You don't need to shift that. Fortunately, your shift carried over and got that one. Sure. Turn right and check. Good.
Reload's moving.
30 seconds remaining.
Cool. Pop back up to high ground. Now you can push cart. That's fine. Okay. Drop behind cart. Use cart as cover. Please use cart as cover.
Regen up.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Damn.
You'll have shift in a second. It's fine. Okay. Shift was unnecessary. I'd have considered hopping up there and helping with that fight. Like, I know what's happening up here. I know that there's someone up there from our Sonic Arrow. You can hop up here if you want and go pew pew and help, that sort of thing. But whatever, that's fine. You knew your team down here was healthy. You don't need to be taking this much damage here. You could have been buying cart more. You could have tucked right faster.
Get in here.
At least tuck left. At least tuck left.
fully healed.
Out of line of sight. You want to shift before you do that? Okay. Please don't stand here. You don't have any tools. Like, even your excuses for standing in the open of lamp and shift are totally gone. Can we please tuck ourselves back here and go, hey, I will peek to weave, I will peek to heal, I will peek to do damage, but like I won't just let myself get caught in the open here, please? Yeah, you see how this works? You can tuck over here and heal your team, heal those guys. Yeah, but you can't get shot at. Oh boy.
I'm at fighting condition.
Unfortunate.
Complete.
unfortunate. And if we'd pushed this a little bit harder, if we'd, played a little more conservatively, we probably, well, I mean, we're close to a window is really what I'm getting to here. And we could have started playing for the window. And again, what can we do with the window? Well, we can force the other team to clear. We can force an elimination, but we'll move on to the next round.
Ready for battle.
My turn.
Try not to get yourselves killed out there.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay. Okay, let's see if we position a little bit differently this time.
5,
How we sort of started last time was fine.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay,
Stop the payload.
reasonable.
Not you good as new.
Sure. You could do a pre-fire reload here if you want. Wouldn't open the angle while doing it.
You all look like you needed some healing. Topping you up.
Purple. Shift doesn't work through purple.
Get out of there.
Okay.
I need healing.
It's fine. Sure. Okay, you're gonna shoot the soldier. I'd have legit just pressed the I need healing button and hoped Mercy would come get you. Because your shift is so far away. Okay.
Regen burst activated.
Okay. Your Reinhardt is pushing in, so you would like, as your Reinhardt is pushing in, to have had your boots pre-charged and hop up here, and this is when you'd be looking to poke, because your Reinhardt is pushing around the corner. This is how this works. As your tank goes in, you open your angle even against a poke team. Now, preferably, you don't open it on exactly the same angle as your Reinhardt, though you can. You just don't really want to take spam meant for him. So opening up here and going, I can shoot Sigma, I can shoot Zarya, as your Reinhardt pushes up, this is the sort of thing we're looking to do. Good.
You are me.
Your support has arrived.
Fully healed.
Is it worth it, though, for Mercy to cross the dangerous sightline and abandon the DPS taking aggressive angle? No. No, it would not have been worth it. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have pressed the button. It's not really his job to worry about, oh, hey, like, yes, if he realizes in the moment that, wait, Mercy's on a DPS that's taking an aggressive off angle, then no, he can decide I'm going to suck it up and not press the I need healing button, and that's reasonable and fine. But I don't mind if he doesn't think that hard about it before pressing the I need healing button whenever he's missing health and doesn't press shift. Like, I just don't mind. Mercy is her own independent player. This is a ping to Mercy, a reminder of, hey, healing would be cool, not a, you must drop everything to come heal me. Mercy did not get to this level by going, oh, well, someone pressed the I need healing button, so now I just gotta go help them. You're effectively communicating with the I need healing. I can't really take care of myself, or I don't want to take care of myself, which is a little different. With BAP, it's usually I can't because my shift is on cooldown. With Ana, sometimes it's a, I'd prefer not to spend my nade on this.
My ultimate is ready. Get in position.
Why are you backing off? You have window.
The fight ain't over.
Okay.
Bullet, how about a little extra?
Like, I don't know about you. It's going to be real hard. If I let these guys just push out a little bit to like here and then a window, boom, they're blown up. Boom, they're blown up. If I back up to here, by the time I can window, it's going to be awkward. They're going to have multiple lanes that they can come in from. My window's going to have a hard time threatening everything. It's not going to be as good. Like, it'll buy me a little more time off the clock, but Ida was perfectly fine with the forward window to support the forward hold.
Bullet, how about a little
At shift. Fine, at least you were missing health. Okay. You're in the
fully
open. You're in the open. They're winning right lane. You can tell they're winning right lane. Get real cover against it.
Regen up.
I generally feel at the whim of my tanks on where we hold, but I understand now that window is a good stand here and shoot button for my teammates. Yes. Yes. Okay, we should pop up. Yep. Unfortunate.
Get inside.
60 seconds.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna scream at you. It's fine. I'm not gonna window this because it's incredibly likely on my Zarya Hanzo team that if this Grav comes out, and I know my Hanzo's, you know, relatively available, that the Dragon's gonna come out. So I'm not gonna window this one. I could window this if this was what we needed, but I haven't seen any scary ults come out of them yet. Yeah, I want to make sure we make this hold, but my window is independently going to get more value than his dragon is. I'd prefer the other combo here. I'll deal. Are Gravs worth using windows on? They can be. They absolutely can be, especially if you get something like beat out of the other team, or the other team has a window going, or the other team has a lot of defenses in there, like they've got a lot of cooldowns left, a healthy Rhine Shield, Zarya bubbles, things like that. They can be worth using with Gravs, but that's going to depend on other things. In this situation, not worth using with Grav. We have Dragon. I'd much rather have Window for the next fight and Dragon for the Grav than vice versa.
Regen burst activated.
But this was also they had 3 minutes to push, and we're going to have used 1 window in this round. And that's just not okay.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Regen up.
Sure. What's our next move? Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Much better. Immortality bubbles
Recognize you
down.
can't really push her. She has the Harmony Orb, so you can go somewhere else. Are we going to weave here? A little bit.
Double kill.
That shift is whatever. Great. Now weave. Good. Yeah, that was reasonably good weaving, given the situation. Okay. I know there's some overtime involved here. How much overtime do we have involved?
Immortality bubbles down.
Overtime.
Okay. In 30 seconds, you got 41%, so half of a window back. In 2.5 minutes, you used 1 window. And I can tell you from your previous things, and I'm sure you're going to recognize this too, wait a second, Temporal really hounded me about using windows, and I just didn't. I held windows for 3 minutes on third point. I held window for, not held it for 2.5 minutes, but I got 1 window out in 2.5 minutes. I can build half a window in 30 seconds. This doesn't really make sense. I used 1 window on our attack. No, didn't even use it. We had a hold till next round type thing on your third point attack there. There's some window. Window is like potato chips. You can try to be like, I'm going to set up the perfect window. I'm going to do this. And I can talk about, okay, you want your window to threaten multiple lanes. You want your window to be right as they're pressing in, right as they've sort of started the rotation, but are at the point where it would be a little bit hard to back out. It would cost them something real to back out. I can get into that. But the other answer to window, and the answer that you need to hear, is you have window. It's a relatively even fight. Drop window at your feet wherever you are and melt someone. That's, it's going to double the healing that you're doing to your Reinhardt or your Diva. It's going to double the damage you do and make it extremely likely that you pick someone off who was in otherwise reasonably good positioning. Drop window at your feet in even or near even fights. I'm not going to complain. That's going to work just fine. It really is. I'm going to set up the perfect potato chip. And what I mean by that is like, oh, window, have another window, have another window, have another window. Like the window's up, can't do just one, drop another window. Oh, let's do another window. Like as window is up, we're looking to use it. It should not be an ult that we hold for long periods of time. It's a pretty, hey, let's get it out there, let's use it type ultimate there. It can help charge up other people's ults. It doesn't cost you that much to charge up. It does a lot of things for you. If your teammates can use it, great. If they can't, I don't really care as long as you have a reasonably good position. And poke, scary poke things are mostly going to run from your window. They are. Now, they might try to shoot you, they might try to eliminate you, but most of the time they're going to recognize, and your aim is plenty good enough, that they're going to go, oh shoot, that thing can destroy me way too quickly, I don't want to fight them through it. So, use your windows more. Drop your windows, 5v5s, 6v6s, 4v5s, 5v4s, 3v3s, drop your windows, win those fights, try to get your one pick with them. Great, fantastic, you regularly will. Drop your windows at your own feet, have reasonably good position. That's the first thing that I'm going to tell you, and that's going to matter. You should just window more. The second thing that I'm going to tell you is sort of what you were actually asking about, which is you need to understand how your peak timings work against scary poke comps. Yes, some comps are going to have Widows, they're going to have Soldiers, they're going to have Zens, they're going to have Hanzos. I guess we'll put Widow and Hanzo. There's some of the one-shot stuff you're scary against, you're scared of. Well, if you're never willing to peak it, or you're only willing to peak it for very brief windows, it doesn't really work for you to be playing BAP, right? You have to find ways to peak it sometimes. Now, you're not going to get your full uptime peaking it as much as you like, and your Reinhardt didn't play as aggressively as we'd have liked, didn't push teams as much as you might have liked to give you real opportunities to weave, meaning both heal him and hurt the opponents there. He didn't do as much of that as we would have liked, but there are going to be opportunities that you have to open the angle. So you open the angle, you go, hey, there's an enemy team back that way. When my Reinhardt pushes around this corner, I pop up and start shooting, because I want to open the angle, and ideally, I would prefer not to open the angle right behind him. I can open the angle right behind him if it's the best option, but if there's a situation like this where I can have a little bit of a different angle than him, so spam for him doesn't hit me, that's great. I'm in a good spot to weave. I can go try to do damage. It's unlikely that a Hanzo is going to be standing here holding that angle when my Reinhardt is pushing. His eyes are going to be magnetized to the pushing Reinhardt, because if he doesn't, that Reinhardt gets to rotate for free. And if that Reinhardt gets to rotate for free, eventually he's going to get on top of Zens, Orissas, Divas, Sigmas, things that really don't like having Reinhardts on top of them. So he needs to pressure the rotation. Is it better for him to get a pick off on you than to pressure the Reinhardt? Absolutely. But he doesn't know exactly where you're going to peak, exactly when you're going to peak, and he can't be like, well, just wait a second to see if you go there, because Reinhardt is rotating during that time, and Reinhardt isn't doing 8-second rotations, so not paying attention to him for a second is actually a fair amount of time. So, like, you peak as your Reinhardt pushes. You peak as your Diva goes in. You peak after your Widow shoots and pulls a bullet trail, which is going to pull eyeballs this way. You peek after your Roadhog hits a hook from over here, and you peek from an angle that they weren't on. You're sort of going, you have to think about this from the enemy's perspective of things are going to pull the opponent's eyeballs, and that's when I can peek. The rest of the time, I am, if the opponents are super lethal, gonna have to heal from the side. Gonna have to go, okay, fine, I'll heal my team from the side, or I'll open the angle very gently to heal, that sort of thing. Or, you know, I'll go for this, and I'll go for just a quick weave and then close it, that sort of thing. But when you watch your, hey, I'm gonna get 3, 4, 5 shots in a row, I can do some real weaving, some real pressure, some real healing, that sort of thing, that's gonna be when something happens. Either your tank's pushing, or your tank's getting pushed into, or your DPS doing something like this, or a tank doing something like this that will pull eyeballs to them. Roadhog hooks can be big for that. Widow bullet trails are super obvious for that and will pull eyeballs to her. Your Tracer showing up on their Zen, your Tracer showing up on their Hanzo, those sorts of things. Oh, wait, I hear that happening. I know that's happening. I see that my Tracer's in combat with something over here. It's not just going to pull the attention of what it's fighting over here. It's going to somewhat globally pull some attention and make your peak safer. Because, yeah, you are going to have to, as BAP, as a hero who doesn't always one-shot things, you are going to have to chance peaking against a team that can one-shot you before all those one-shot heroes are eliminated. But you do it well, there's a likelihood that they're not going to be able to just hold an angle on you, and you put some chip damage on them, some pressure on them, so that, okay, now they're in a situation where if they try to re-peek into you, you're potentially both in one-shot territory. Yeah, but I did get a well-played BAP from our Ryan at the end of the game. Checkmate. Well, there you go, Elark. There you go. There you go. No, these are the two things I'd want you to work on. One is a really big macro understanding thing of how it works to play into poke comps as a poke hero or as a poke comp. So this is like important for you to understand. You open your angle when someone else has pulled attention elsewhere, and that's frequently going to be your tank, but it can be other DPS on the wings as well. But the you personal thing to really get value here, like the super obvious value add, is just drop your windows, man. Just drop your windows. Like, oh, window at my feet, double damage. I'm not scared of you. I'm as likely to take you are out, Hanzo, as you are me, except, you know, I'm actually not balanced to do this much damage, so now I'm super scary, that sort of thing. Like, those windows are a big deal. Yeah. Or you could become a Mercy main and never open angles. You could. Oh, okay. If you or anyone else has questions, throw them up in chat now. If you're enjoying the content, please do drop a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. If you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. As well as in there, you can get pings when we're going live, if there's topics that you want to cover. While we do reviews on this channel, we do reviews, we do coaching, that sort of thing. We also cover the Overwatch collegiate scene. We cover the news, sometimes video game news, sometimes other news. We cover, all sorts of different things on this channel. We'll review other people's guides, react to stuff, all that sort of stuff. So if any of those are things that, hey, I want to be part of that discussion, I want to be there to talk about that, because I will interact quite a bit with chat when we're covering news or reacting to other things like people's tier lists, things like that. Best way to be here if it's something you're interested in, is to join the Discord in the description below. Yeah, and with that, we'll go ahead and end it there. Yeah, thanks. That's some good stuff to work on. No problem, Elark. No problem. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks, Temporal.